Hi, welcome to another HowTechs comparison video. Today we have two smartwatches. On the right we have the Samsung Gear S3 Classic, and on the left here we have the Fossil Q Wanderer. These are two pretty cool recently released watches. This one just came out about 3 weeks ago, and this one came out earlier this summer. Both very nice looking as watches. Size is comparable. They both have replaceable standard 22 millimeter bands, so even if you don't like the bands that come with them, although they're pretty good, genuine leather, you can swap out any one that you want, including a metal bracelet with a clasp, or a different kind of material, synthetic or genuine leather, crocodile, whatever, you name it. Key differences here, definitely the Samsung is larger, heavier, feels a bit more solid. There's a heart rate monitor here on the back with LED, similar to what you find on Fitbits and other smart watches like the Apple Watch. This one does not have one. So although they both have accelerometers for doing activity tracking, this one will also get your heartbeat. So this is a Tizen OS watch. This is an Android Wear OS watch. Both work with Android phones. Now there is an iOS app for the Fossil, which works pretty well. There is soon to be an iOS app for the S3 Gear, according to the internet rumors. So this one has an always-on display. This one you have to usually flick the wrist to get it to turn on. Definitely they both have nice displays. The biggest thing you notice is with the Fossil, it has this wedge cut out of it. Basically, there's a slice of this thing just missing, and so no matter how you slice it, that's just kind of annoying. The Gear looks really good. I've turned the brightness up on here, so it's a little bit unfair to compare them, but basically it's a nicer display no matter what. One thing that's big is also if I get them both going, the view angle on the Fossil is just not really great, so you have to have the brightness turned up if you're not looking at it directly straight on. So especially when I'm doing these videos, if I'm looking from a low angle, it's actually almost unreadable, whereas the Gear is just a little bit better. The other main difference you see right away is the interface. So this one has two buttons. The Gear has two buttons and a turnable dial, whereas the Fossil is all about swiping. So there is one button here. It's actually not a crown. This doesn't turn, but there's a button on the end that you can use to bring up apps if you hold it in. But other than that, everything is done through swiping. So you can bring up notifications. You can do some of your shortcuts here for turning notifications on and off, etc., adjusting the brightness. But basically, it's all through the touchscreen, which is not a bad thing, but definitely if you're wearing gloves or you're in a hurry, maybe you're walking, you don't have time to stop and touch things, having a nice rotating dial can't be beat. And at some points it's just a little bit finer control too. So anyway, you can see there's lots of options in here on the Fossil. You can change the watch face. Let's go for a nice, let's try to find something similar so we can compare side by side. So kind of some multi-dial aviator. So you can see side by side. They both look pretty good. I don't think you're going to confuse either one with a legitimate mechanical watch, but they're pretty good. One thing that I have noticed, I haven't figured out how to make this always stay on or stay on longer. This one you can actually set to, just like on your phone, you can have it stay on for a minute or two, or up to 5 minutes, I think, before it auto turns off. This one, it's basically all based on if you touch it or you flip it up. Otherwise it turns off in 10-15 seconds, which is a little bit annoying. So anyway, apps wise, you have some shortcuts and some apps here. If you pull over, you can do fitness, you can do the flashlight, which is actually just turning the screen brightness up really high so that you can kind of see in the dark, and stopwatch, sort of the things you'd expect from a watch. One interesting one is this translation. So it's Google Translate, except we found that it is actually quite impossible to use. Let's try it one more time. This is translating from English to Chinese. How are you? No, it actually worked this time. And it translated from English to English instead of English to Chinese. Okay, let's try Chinese to English. Ni hao ma. Oh, actually, so it works better in Chinese than it does in English. That's okay. So, cool thing is also you can use this sort of as a universal translator when you're traveling. Just show it to someone. You type in there, it translates, you flip your wrist back, and they can see basically the translation of what you just said. That to me is probably one of the cooler features on this guy. The Gear, on the other hand, also has voice recognition, so you can use it for doing what they call S-Voice, which is basically like their Siri Google search. This one can also do it as well. If I say, "Okay Google," does it work? Let's get it back. "Okay Google," here we go. What is the airspeed velocity of, okay. "Okay Google, what is the airspeed velocity of a fully laden swallow?" "25 miles per hour. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, a European swallow. Okay, cool. So, little Monty Python joke in there in case you didn't recognize it. So this one also has, let's go to our apps. So S-Voice, and I think you can just double click or whatever to get to here, but let's try, oops. Yeah, so it actually does recognize what you say.
I could not find the answer to your question.
No. What is the airspeed velocity of a fully laden swallow?
I could not find the answer to your question.
What is the airspeed velocity of a fully laden swallow? Well, I guess Google search is better than S-Voice. What is the airspeed velocity of a swallow?
I could not find the answer to your question.
Okay, maybe it's not voice recognition is the problem. What time is it right now?
The local time is 8:04.
Oh, okay, so it's not completely stupid. So definitely these two need some work. I'm sure you could find similar mistakes in Siri and in most phones as well, not just on watches. So that just gives you sort of a hint on the capabilities. Overall, I definitely like the interface on this guy way, way better. Having the dial, having the back button and the home button make a huge difference. And just it's much easier than all this swiping up and down. If I need to, I can still select things by hand, but I don't have to. That's just big for me, especially in cases where you're outside in the real world. You don't want to have to be swiping up and down and stopping and checking things when you could just be twisting a dial. So definitely I like that. I like the display on this one a little bit more. I don't like this thing turning off every 5 seconds. And I think build quality, this is just more of a macho watch, if that's what you're into. And it definitely feels more sturdy. So overall, I think I give my nod to the S3, but you know, I think if I had to choose between the Classic and the Frontier, I would actually choose the Frontier. Not necessarily because of the LTE, but that's even more of a rugged sport design. This one's a little bit too classy, but then it's not rose gold like this guy. So definitely my preference, and if I had a choice, I would even upgrade to the Frontier, although I am also a die-hard Apple Watch person too. So this one's going to stay on my wrist. These two are interesting, and I look forward to trying them out some more though. If you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you have any experience using these two or any preferences, one over the other, please let us know. If you would like to check out our other how-to videos for many popular wearables as well as smartphones, please check out the rest of our channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to check out more how-to videos, unboxings, and comparisons on HowTechs. Thanks. Bye. But the steps are the same for both phones, so don't worry if yours is a little bit different than this one. Basically, what you want to do first to remove the SIM card is